Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Rockford police are looking for this man. He's accused of committing a burglary at a restaurant early this morning.
And Governor Pritzker weighs in on the push to ban assault weapons in Illinois.
And safe winter driving begins before the snow starts to fall. Tips to prepare your car for the slippery season. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. A camera catches a thief breaking into a Rockford restaurant.
Now police are trying to identify the man. Early this morning, officers were called to Chicken Hop on East State Street near Fairview. They found the front doors had been smashed in. Surveillance cameras show the man breaking in, then taking 2 cash registers with money inside. As you can see, he was wearing a blue hoodie, black stocking cap, and black gloves. If you know who this is, call Rockford Police.
A man is sitting in the Stevenson County Jail accused of trying to rob an 81-year-old woman. The victim told police November 7th a man walked up to her in a parking lot on Galena Road, demanded money, and threatened her life. She refused. That man ran off. Police identified him as Isam Brown. Brown was arrested November 22nd in South Dakota. He was brought back to Stevenson County yesterday. Brown is charged with attempted armed robbery. A Freeport family donates more doorbell cameras to keep the community safe. The Caps gave another 31 cameras to the Freeport Police Department. Last year, Justin Cap was killed while leaving a basketball game. His mom has made providing cameras her mission to save other families from going through what she has. The devices are first come, first served. If you're interested, stop by the Freeport Police Department on West Exchange Street.
Legislation banning assault weapons in Illinois could come to a vote in January.
Whether it happens during the lame duck session, which I know is the expectation, or it happens during regular session is, it's important that we do it as fast as possible. There's no doubt. But I just want to be clear that our aim is to get it done in the first half of the year.
In addition to banning assault weapons, the bill would also end future sales of high-capacity ammunition magazines and prohibit rapid-fire devices. People under 21 would no longer be able to own a gun.
WNBA star Brittney Griner is back in the United States. The 32-year-old Phoenix Mercury player was released from a Russian prison. President Biden agreed to a prisoner swap, trading Griner for a Russian arms dealer who'd been imprisoned in the United States. Griner was arrested at a Russian airport in February after security discovered vape canisters with cannabis oil in her luggage. She was thrown in jail on drug charges.
Today my family is whole, but as you all are aware, there's so many other families who are not whole.
American corporate security executive Paul Whelan has been held in a Russian prison since December 2018. He was not part of the swap.
The House has given final approval to legislation protecting same-sex marriages at the federal level. The law requires all states to recognize same-sex marriages. President Biden says he will promptly sign the bill into law. Democrats quickly moved the bill through the House and Senate after the Supreme Court's overturning of Roe v. Wade back in June. That ruling included an opinion from Justice Clarence Thomas that some believe suggested same-sex marriages should also be reconsidered.
Gas prices are now lower than they were 1 year ago. AAA says the national average is down $3.32 a gallon. In December 2021, it was $3.34. This comes despite the war in Ukraine and OPEC nations' oil production cuts. Analysts expect prices could fall back below $3 a gallon as soon as Christmas.
We could get our first taste of winter weather overnight, which means now's the time to make sure you and your car are ready for snow and ice. Nicole Delgado found out how some drivers are preparing. Nicole?
That's right, Mimi. Drivers I talked to today tell me you can never be too prepared because you never know what kind of winter weather we'll get here in northern Illinois.
I was up in Michigan a week prior and we got this huge ice storm that came through, and it was definitely a reminder to get ready for the winter here because they already got it.
Rockford native Taylor Freza drives a lot for her job, so it's important that she makes sure she can get home in the winter. While other drivers tell me they keep extra boots and clothes in the car in case they get stuck on the road.
You know, my tires are working well, no problem with my tires, and just make sure that I've got the windshield wiper fluid. And I actually carry some extra clothes with me too, just in case.
Try to keep the gas all the way up, you know, and battery is good, running great, so I don't have the luxury of putting it in a garage, so it's outside, but you know, I run it every day.
Bruce L.A. Meyer works at Good Boys Auto Care Center. He believes it's important to get your car checked at least twice a year for extreme heat and extreme cold.
Wipers, sure all your lights are working properly, even brake lights, tail lights, yeah. Along with the tires, the anti-lock brakes, make sure it's all operating as designed.
In the winter, you can never be too prepared.
That checks under hood, visual under hood. We check then exterior lighting, wipers, and then we check underneath for any loose suspension parts or steering parts.
Bruce encourages drivers to be prepared. Have an emergency kit with blankets, snacks, jumper cables, and kitty litter in case you get stuck. Taylor seems like she's all set.
Well, I have an emergency kit just in case you get stuck in the ditch. It's got a good thick blanket in there. I've got some jumper cables, some, granola bars in case you get stuck a little bit, and then it also has like a roadside flare.
Bruce from Good Boys Auto Care Center tells me they're offering a free winter inspection to keep drivers safe on the road. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Nicole. Eyewitness News is proud to continue its search for remarkable women across the state line. We're recognizing local women who make a difference through community contribution, self-achievement, or family impact. You can nominate someone in your life online at mystateline.com or use your cell phone to scan the flow code on your screen. Submissions are open now through December 17th. A push for change on Capitol Hill.
Coming up, families of gun violence victims join lawmakers calling for a change.
And we're going to be seeing a little bit of snow showers later on here this evening. And if you're headed out to Festival of Lights, we still have some ornaments to be giving away. So come and check us out here at Mississippi Park. I'll bring you the details on that weather system, though, coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Scott Leber, and meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Connecticut lawmakers were joined today by survivors, advocates, and families of gun violence victims, nearly 10 years after the shooting at Sandy Hook.
Washington correspondent Basil John shows us their call for Congress to take action against what they call is a deadly epidemic in the U.S.
Survivors.
My sister Maddie and I survived the shooting at Saugus High School.
Families.
Our daughter was shot in a home invasion.
And advocates against gun violence.
He was killed on his way home from work.
Are urging lawmakers to take action.
We would like the Senate to schedule a vote to pass the assault weapons ban.
No one in America is safe. No place is secure. No community is immune.
Connecticut Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal says even 10 years after the shooting at Sandy Hook, mass shootings continue.
Tragically, every year there are new survivors and victims to be represented.
Some lawmakers say the recent progress on gun safety regulations is only because of grassroots efforts to influence members of Congress.
You are essential to this fight.
Connecticut Democratic Senator Chris Murphy says the Safer Communities Act has already prevented dangerous people from getting their hands on guns, but they need to go further.
Compel our colleagues to do the right thing and pass legislation that is wildly popular.
Without action, Connecticut Democratic Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro fears the U.S. will grow numb to these shootings.
Mass shootings are becoming just a part of our culture. We cannot allow that to continue.
Murphy promises that even though it could take time, more changes are on the way. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Sun came out to end the day here in the state line. Don't get too used to it.
When we come back, Jordan says we may wake up to some of the white stuff.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Well, here we are live at the Festival of Lights this evening here in Mississippi Park in Rockford. We've been giving out ornaments from Eyewitness News to the first 100 cars. We don't have a whole lot of them left, but we will be back out here again next Thursday and the Thursday after that to be giving out ornaments once again. So if you missed out on this opportunity, don't worry, there's still a couple more left. And if you are headed out for the Festival of Lights, and now those ornaments I forgot to mention, we are partnered with Comfort First Installation to provide those to you. So we just want to be able to wish you guys and wish everyone a happy holidays this holiday season. So if you are headed out here this evening for the Festival of Lights, a little bit chilly out there. We are back down into the 30s right now. Those temperatures sitting in the 30s across the area, down to 33 in Freeport. Still 37 here in Rockford, but those temperatures will fall underneath initially clear skies. A little bit of a festive look out there here looking downtown Rockford. Our SkyTrack camera is brought to us by Window World. We see that festive look out there, but we also see the clear skies, at least initially. That's what's going to cool those temperatures down, but clouds are beginning to work their way in, and with that, that's what's going to bring our next weather system into the area. Right now, not looking at a whole lot on satellite radar, but as we work our way through the evening and overnight hours tonight, that's what's going to change. We initially get some rain showers that'll come through, and then a transition from rain to potentially some snow mixing in. So here's what we're looking at with Futurecast. We dive right in. Clear skies, at least initially. That's what's allowing those temperatures to fall fairly quickly, maybe even down into the low 30s for a couple of us, but clouds working their way in. And after around 10, 11 o'clock tonight, that's when those rain showers transitioning into snow later in the evening, that's when they begin to work their way in. Now notice these are a lot heavier of those showers and even some snow showers, but that line between that divides the two, between rain and snow, is going to be hovering right around the Illinois-Wisconsin border. So where we get some of that colder air that filters in, that's when we're going to see that transition into snow a little bit quicker. Some areas further to the south of the viewing area may not see any snow at all, but as far as we're concerned, locally here in Rockford, as well as especially slightly further to the north, some slushy accumulations are definitely possible later on here this evening. We initially get those clearer skies beginning to work their way out by the time we get to the rest of the day tomorrow, however, by the time we get later on. So, timing out those impacts, initially rain, transitioning to that snow and then a mix, and then once again mostly rain by the time we get into tomorrow afternoon, but diminishing in coverage pretty quickly into the afternoon and evening hours. There is a winter weather advisory that is in effect for all of our northern counties across northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. That goes into effect overnight tonight and lasts through early tomorrow afternoon. Exact times are depending on what your location is. That winter weather advisory not only stretches across here in the state line, but all the way out into the plains across parts of Nebraska, all the way up into Minnesota, Iowa, even a winter storm warning across parts of northern Iowa. Now, after this system, we still have another one that we have to keep an eye on as we trend toward the end of the weekend and into early next week. This is Tuesday into Wednesday, so really middle of next week is the system that's going to be working through. We're going to be kind of in the middle between some severe weather a little bit further to the deep south and maybe some heavier snowfall a little bit further up to the north. Now, this track of this system could shift a little bit, but still something we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on. At least initially, though, it does look like we'll be getting a soaking rain during that time, at least on Tuesday, potentially there into Wednesday. So recapping all this here, we're down to 33 tonight, then 37 for the day tomorrow. By the time we get into the rest of the day tomorrow, though, that's when the skies begin to clear. So some slushy accumulations possible, at least here in the short term, but we eventually begin to clear out for the middle part of the week, for the end of the weekend, early next week, and then we have to keep an eye on that next weather system that's going to be working its way in. Temperatures not remaining too far off from where we should be this time of year.
Could be kind of a messy Friday. Thanks, Jordan.
Reagan Holgate is in next with sports. The Chicago Bulls find themselves back in the win column after last night.
And Rockford Ice Hogs grab their third straight win. She'll have those highlights coming up.
Now sports with Reagan Holgate.
Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder and the NFL covered up decades of sexual misconduct, according to the final report released today by the House Committee on Oversight and Reform. This comes after a year-long investigation surrounding the Washington Commanders and its toxic culture toward female employees. One of the quotes from the report reads, "Dozens of employees at the Commanders were harmed by a toxic work culture for more than 2 decades. The team's owner permitted and participated in this troubling conduct." The committee has called for Congress to introduce reforms that would, quote, strengthen oversight of toxic workplaces and other professional sports leagues. The Bulls have found their way back in the win column after a much-needed home victory last night against the Wizards, and it snapped a 3-game losing streak. Into the second now, Goran Dragic feeds it to DeMar DeRozan, and he throws it down for the dunk. Bulls up 6. Still in the second, Bulls on the break here, and Patrick Williams stretches out for the one-handed dunk. Williams really getting going. Great pass inside here, and he throws down another one. Fourth quarter, Chicago trailing, but then comes Zach LaVine here for 3, and here's one more. Wide open. LaVine catching fire from 3. He finished the night with 25 points. DeRozan had a team-high 27 points to help lead the Bulls past the Wizards. They now look ahead to Saturday with the Mavericks. And the Ice Hogs prepare for another home game on Saturday, but what a doozy last night was with the Admirals. Milwaukee will strike first with one from Kiefer Sherwood right through the legs of Dylan Wells, and the Admirals have the early lead by 1. Into the third period now, Lucas Reichel rips a shot, and it's in. That ties things up with 5 minutes left in regulation. Now into the shootout, Reichel again, and up and over the goalie, and that puts the Hogs ahead. And what a night for Dylan Wells, turning 20 of 21 Milwaukee shots to earn the win, and even the series at 2. Rockford wins in the shootout 2-1. They will see the ice again Saturday night as they host the Iowa Wild. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Well, we just ran out of lights here at the Festival of Lights. We ran out of ornaments that we were passing out. So if you wanted in on that, make sure you come back again early into next week. And the week after, Thursdays, is when we're handing those out starting at 5 p.m. So make sure you have that in mind and come and enjoy the Festival of Lights. If you're still headed out late this evening, temperatures continuing to fall back down into the low 30s for a lot of us, down to 33 overnight tonight. Temperatures, though, rising as we get through the rest of the night. The first floor interactive radar from Rockford Auto Glass not showing anything, at least here at the moment, but as when it get later on into the night tonight, chances for snow and even some rain start to work their way in, with some slushy accumulations possible later tonight into early tomorrow morning. And I'll have all the rest of that coming up in the web a little bit later.
Oh, the lights will look pretty with a little snow out there. Thanks, Jordan.
Adds to the atmosphere. Thanks for spending some time with us. Stay safe.